Hello everyone, Brick Build Brick Films here. Today we're going to be reviewing a product. It's been a long time since I've did a review, but we're going to be doing a review of the BrickArms Blaster Weapons Pack Volume 2. Let's get right into it. The first weapon in review is the EE3 and none other than Boba Fett's blaster rifle. As you can see right here, I love the attention to detail that it does. It tries to not lose the look of classic Lego weapon looks, while actually trying to make it look like the weapon from the movie, and they did an excellent job on this. It looks exactly like the blaster Boba Fett used in Return of the Jedi, when fighting Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and all the main characters on Jabba's sail barge. The detail I just love. It's fully accurate to the movie, and it looks great on display with my old school Lego Boba Fett minifigure. The next weapon I'll be reviewing is the DLT-28. I chose to display it with a Episode 3 Kashyyyk clone trooper because I thought it looks really good, it being a sharpshooter blaster look. You can see right here, I believe I've seen these in some of the Battlefront games. It looks, the detail, much like the EE3, is impeccable. I love the way it looks, and it would go great in a stop motion with perhaps a sharpshooter clone trooper or a stormtrooper, which I'll most likely be using this in my upcoming Clone Wars film right after Lego Jaws gets produced. The next weapon is the weapon of a Jawa. It's the CA-87. I did not have a Jawa Lego minifigure, so I chose to display it with a battle droid since it holds it out in front of the camera nicely. I love how like bulky it looks, much like the old Jawa blasters. They don't look like that of normal blasters, mainly because they, I'm pretty sure, are crafted by the Jawas, and they have a weird clunky sort of junk-like look to the weapon. I really like the way this weapon looks, and I may end up getting me a Jawa Lego minifigure just to display it. The next weapon is the bolt caster, and since I was unable to find my Chewbacca minifigure, I just displayed it with a regular Wookiee warrior. The gun, I think, has probably the most, impressive look out of all of the BrickArms weapons, just because it pays a lot of attention to every shape that the bowcaster has. Not saying the others don't, but I just really like the attention to detail here. This weapon came in about 3 pieces, so it's hard to assemble, put together, but the ending product for it is very good. I'm really glad that they included the bowcaster in this collection. The next weapon is the DC-155, which I believe is a clone trooper blaster, which is why I decided to display it with a Phase 1 clone trooper. It looks like somewhat close to what the E11s look like, slightly bigger than an E11, and not with a top scope attached, but it does resemble like an early phase of what the E11 would look like, which makes sense since it's going with the early Stormtroopers, the clone troopers. It pays nice attention to detail. It would be really good to have as an addition in my Clone Wars film. So, real great addition to this collection. The next weapon is none other than Han Solo's DL-44. I really like the look of this weapon, because the DL-44 is one of the most iconic Star Wars weapons, Han Solo being one of the most iconic Star Wars characters, and you can't have a Lego Han Solo without a nice looking DL-44 to go along with it. Everything about this DL-44 mold is just perfect. I love it. I love the way it looks with my Han Solo minifigure on display, and yeah, just everything about it, 10 out of 10, it's great. The next weapon is the H17. It was the weapon wielded by rebel troops in the opening to A New Hope, as they stood in the hallways of the Tantive 4, waiting for the clone troopers to blast through the doors. I really like the way this looks. It almost resembles like that of what an E11 would be if it were a clone trooper a rebel trooper blaster. It's It's great. That's all I can say for most of these weapons. They're just great. Great attention to detail, and I'm really glad to have gotten this set for the price that I got it for. Next weapon is Rey's N14 blaster, which we saw her gain from Han Solo in The Force Awakens, that she carried with her all the way to, I believe, The Rise of Skywalker, spoiler alert. I like how this specific one tried to pay attention to the detail by making the color silver rather than black like most of the weapons. It goes down to the most tiny detail on the weapon, which I really like, and it's cool to display it with my Rey minifigure. The next weapon is the T21B, much like the T21 we saw in A New Hope. I didn't have another Stormtrooper to display this with, so I displayed it with my Wolfpack Clone Trooper. This weapon was really cool because it came in 3 separate pieces, so you can build it together and make it look like a more powerful weapon or just simple. It comes with a detachable scope piece up here, detachable barrel piece down here, and overall looks like a really powerful weapon that would be used by scarier clone or Stormtrooper forces, depending on which era you're filming a Brick film in. The next weapon is very recognizable if you play a lot of Star Wars Battlefront games or pay attention to weapons in general in the Star Wars universe. This is the A280C, commonly seen by Rebel troops. I personally love this weapon, not just in the movies, but I used it a lot in the Star Wars Battlefront games as well. I love the attention to detail because it perfectly captures the image of what the A280C looks like. Every simple detail, there's lots of sharp edges, if you guys understand what I'm talking about, on the rifle, and just every detail about what I remember of the A280C is just perfect. The next weapon is the F11D, more commonly known as the First Order Stormtrooper Blaster. It is a lot like that of the E11, which will be coming up soon. You can see a lot of First Order Stormtroopers, and even Captain Phasma, I think, wields an F11D. It's like a upgraded, more heavy version of the E11, of course, used by the First Order. It's all about power, and it looks really good on display with this First Order Stormtrooper minifigure, as you can see here. Really like how it captures that look. The next weapon is the T21. You can see this weapon in Star Wars A New Hope, wielded by the Sand Troopers, as you can see here. Commonly seen in the scenes where the Stormtroopers go to attack the Millennium Falcon and Mos Eisley, or the iconic "these are not the droids you're looking for" scene. Stormtroopers are wielding the T21s, one of the more well-known rifles for their early appearance in Star Wars A New Hope, and I really like the way this looks. Once again, a 3-piece blaster that can obviously be recognized as a very heavy Star Wars weapon. The next weapon is the iconic E11, aka the Stormtrooper Blaster Rifle. You can see right here, I love how this blaster looks. It's just perfect. Every single detail is down to the best it can be for Lego, which I really like. And it looks great with this, not newest wave, but newer wave of Lego Stormtroopers. It looks absolutely great. Up next is the A295, which I chose to let a Rebel soldier wield, since that's where it's commonly seen. You can't see it too well here if I change the angle there. It's another sharpshooter type weapon. You can see it somewhat closely resembles the A280C, not too much, but you can definitely tell that this is the weapon of a sharpshooter or a sniper. It looks very nice on display, especially the fact that I can have this minifigure hold it in both hands. Alright, up next is the DC-15 blaster, which I decided to display with this 2005 clone shock trooper. The weapon is... I truly like the look of this specific blaster rifle, mainly because I recognize it from the movies. It's another one of those that you look at and like, hey, this is the kind of weapon that one of the special or heavy forces type of soldiers would use. I'm pretty sure that this is the kind of weapon that a Stormtrooper would use, maybe a Stormtrooper shock trooper and not a clone shock trooper, but either way, it looks really, really good when on display. Final two weapons are the SE-14R and the E-11D, both wielded by none other than the Death Troopers we see in Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, and, spoiler alert, The Mandalorian. I love the way these two weapons look, mainly because I'm obsessed with the Death Troopers. I love the way that they look. They're one of my favorite kind of Stormtrooper types. I even went ahead and put a custom shoulder pad on this one. Sorry about the camera focus, but you can see here that this is a not as heavy, more like a pistol type blaster in his his left hand, and in his right the actual E-11D rifle, which actually, if I can, has a detachable magazine. I'm not sure why any Star Wars weapon would need a detachable magazine, but you can take that magazine out, as you can see right there. Really, really great weapons. Anyway, guys, that was the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to consider purchasing these BrickArms Blaster weapons, because if you're thinking about filming a Star Wars brick film, these are the way to go. They're super high quality, and I got them for a great price on eBay, and everything came in prime condition, came super fast. It's just, all in all, just a win. Very low price, and they will improve your Star Wars brick films a lot, should you use them, or just for display. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.